So yesterday I went to the range. I do some amount of shooting every week or every 2 weeks. Just kind of depends. A lot of times, even like when I go hiking or something like that, I'll take my 22 pistol with me and I'll, you know, cook off a couple rounds when I get to the trailhead or something like that, my way back, just because, or if I see a piece of trash that needs to get shot or something like that, like a pop can or something, but I went to the range like kind of like seriously yesterday, and I was shooting some rimfire. That's primarily what I shoot is rimfire. Um, I in fact I'm thinking um, I'm looking at a Smith and Wesson 642 in 38 special, and I'll probably there's Smith and Wesson makes a little J-frame internal hammer in 22 as well, and I'd probably get that if I like that 642. I I would, and I'm thinking I'll probably get that Springfield Ronin 10 millimeter down the road, and I think it's like Walther makes a 1911 clone in 22. I'd probably get that too. And I'm also, I see a pattern here. I kind of look at it from the standpoint of like anything that I'm serious with, I'd like to have a 22 understudy. Because like I say, I shoot a lot of 22. 22's cheap. It's, like you can get really good with something, and you don't have to, you could really develop the fundamentals of shooting. You don't develop a flinch. There's lots of good things with 22, and not to mention 22 is just it's a good little round for all kinds of things. I also, at some point, I'm tempted, even though I'm concerned the accuracy. I've said this numerous times out here before. I'm not an AR-15 guy, but I'd like to be. And a lot of my issues with AR-15s revolve around the fact that they're not generally in calibers that I like. I don't have a problem with 223. Just there's a lot of stuff I like better. I'll put it that way. So what I might do is Tipman makes an M422, they call it, or something like that. I might look at that because maybe that'll deepen my appreciation for AR-15s. And and they come with sights, so I probably just have to set it up with a little sling and, maybe a red dot or something. I feel like it would be good for small game hunting, but like I say, I'm a little concerned if they're accurate. I've heard some stuff that makes me not think that, but that's hard to say. I ended up, when I went to the range the other day, I'd lined up it's an older Marlin. It's a Marlin 780. I've had it for a long time, and I've used it. I haven't used it. I used it with open sights. I had a scope on it at one point. It's kind of got a little bit of sentimental value, so I don't want to change it up too much because I do want to get a bolt action 22 with peep sights on it, and I'm not sure that I'm ready to put peep sights on on my on my CZ. I'm deciding if I want to put peep sights or a scope on it. But that little Marlin was not. It's not as accurate as I remember it, but that being said, it's not bad. I had a target out at like, I don't know, I ranged it was like 27, 28 yards, something like that. And it probably wasn't the best day for shooting, and probably wasn't my best day for shooting, but I was surprised too. Like, the little rifle is much more picky on ammunition than what I remember. Maybe when you're a kid, you just don't recognize that. I don't know. I but I got one of those 2 to 7 loophole VX1s on there, and at that distance, I mean, when I would shoot like the CCI clean bore, for the most part, I was doing a ragged hole, but I'd throw the odd one. That was probably me. I did notice that I picked up some federal 45 grain 22 shells. They're meant for like suppressors and shit like that. And those ones did not shoot as tight of a group as those CCIs did. But the flip side is that those 45 grain federal rounds in my Ruger pistol, they cycle really well. So, and that Ruger does it has more bobbles than what I feel it should. I don't know. It's the old one that my uncle had. This one it's not as reliable, but it's probably more accurate. So, most accurate and reliable 22 I ever had. I probably shouldn't have sold it. I took a real bath on it when I sold it. I had a Beretta Neos. That thing was ugly as shit. It was heavy, but it was most accurate and reliable 22 I've ever owned. But yeah, and then also while I was at the range, let me say I used that little Ruger, and I don't know why. When I shoot a rifle at the range, I like punching paper. I don't know why. That's just me. But when I shoot pistol, I like playing. I call it playing tennis. I'm sure that I'm not the first person to do this, and like, and it's probably got other names. I don't know. I just throw a tennis ball out in front of me. I keep that thing rolling. And, I'll stop, change mags, start rolling it again. I don't know, until it gets out far enough where I can't roll it anymore. I'm not as good with a pistol as I used to be. But I'm getting it back. But yeah. I don't know. I just want to do a little ramble on rimfire. Just shooting in general. I thought of taking my tablet with and doing a video, but I don't really have any kind of like a stand to put it on, so I don't know how I'd do that. But anyway, everyone take care.